Hey, it's Charlie Wiener from the Wiener Lucena Global Realty Group at Remax Pros in Boca Raton, and today I'm doing something a little bit different, something I've never done. I'm going to do a product review on a pair of fishing pliers. Why would a real estate agent in South Florida do a review on fishing pliers? Well, I fish, and I recently lost a pair of pliers that I had owned for 12 years and really loved. Very nice pliers, Van Staal. They were the steel model. They stopped making those recently, and when I went to replace them, I realized how much I underappreciated those pliers and took them for granted because I really had a hard time, much harder time than I thought I would, finding pliers, of all things, that I would really like as much as I liked those stainless Van Staal pliers. So I did go out and I bought their titanium pliers, which I owned for about 24 hours. But the 7-inch model just felt too big and too bulky, and I didn't like them. Their 6-inch model titaniums, they felt really too small. They felt really too small in my hand. What I liked about their stainless was they sort of felt in between. They were really perfect. They had tungsten cutters, sanaprine coated handles. They were spring loaded. They included a Cadora sheath and a lanyard. The sheath quality, by the way, was excellent, but not my favorite, and I didn't use it because the Velcro in the strap that held the pliers into the sheath was very aggressive, and I always felt like I was fighting the sheath to get my pliers out. So I did not use the sheath, and consequently, it took 12 years, but I did lose the pliers, and that was a big loss. So these pliers here are the ones that I chose to replace it, and they're the Donmar 850EX pliers. And the Donmar pliers, they're made of a marine grade steel with replaceable tungsten cutters. They have a sanaprine coated handle. It's really nice. They feel good in the hand, spring loaded for easy operation. And they're 6.5 inches, which I think is even a little bit longer than my Van Staal pliers were, but they feel really delicate. They actually feel smaller than my previous pair of pliers. These pliers included a sheath, which is not nearly as good a quality sheath as the Van Staal pliers, but I actually kind of like the design of this sheath more. When I use the sheath to put the pliers in and on my hip, they really, really tend to disappear flat into the sheath and just go right up against my hip. I don't even realize that I'm wearing them. So not the greatest quality sheath, I don't think, but the design has really grown on me. By the way, this split ring here I added just makes it a little bit easier for me to put the lanyard on, and they sell the lanyard separately, which was a little bit unfortunate because the Van Staals included the lanyard, but the lanyard is something I anticipate using, every single time I go out now that I've lost a pair of pliers. So I like the narrower ends. These are really good. I do a lot of inshore fishing. I do a lot of fly fishing, and I really like the more precision point here. The cutters are inside the jaws, which frankly I liked the external cutters, the outside cutters, much better. But I'm getting used to these, and I really like that these, are very light and small and fit comfortably on my hip. So since I'm going to be wearing these on my hip every time I go out, that's really important to me. By the way, something that I was a little bit surprised to learn, I saw that the Donmars, these have a 5-year warranty, and they're made in the USA. They actually make these in upstate New York. I called Van Staal because I was curious, and Van Staal has a 1-year warranty, and they're imported from Thailand, if that means anything to anybody. So I really like these pliers. I've taken them out a couple of times. I've used them. They cut braid really well, really well. I anticipate that they will continue to cut braid really well for a long time before I replace the cutters. If you see, I'll gently close the pliers. You'll see a gap there. That's how you know that the cutter's really meeting. But if I apply a little pressure, that gap disappears, and really there's no problem, grabbing braid, the tag end of braid, and doing knots with these pliers. So they're working out really well. Well, what do I like? I like that they're smaller in the hand. I like that they're narrower here. I like that they're super lightweight. And I like them. I think that these are going to work out really well for me. I just want to talk for a second about the debate that I always see on the internet of expensive pliers versus inexpensive pliers. And I really don't understand why that debate has such strong emotions. And I come out in favor of spending money on pliers if that's what you want to do. We all go out and we buy really good reels and really good rods and sunglasses. We buy what we can afford. And there's a lot of people that say that that's a crazy waste of money to spend money on pliers, but I just wonder what kind of other equipment those people have and how many rods and reels they spend money on. And some of them, I bet, have spent as much on a bar tab as I spent on these pliers, which was a little over $100, which is a lot for pliers, but I really use them. Every time I'm on the boat, I use pliers. I use them a lot for rigging. I extract hooks. I'm using them all the time. I really want to feel like I've got good equipment. If I get something toothy and big, I've got this pair of very heavy Shimano's, which I like a lot. But you can see that they developed this patina of rust. I hit them with a little WD-40 or Corrosion X, and they stay in great working shape. But that's what they look like. And so these are going to stay on the boat. And if I really need to grab something for teeth, I have these, no problem. These are going to stay on my hip. They're going to give me great enjoyment every time I use them for rigging. They're going to be there if I need them immediately for a fish. And I can't say enough about them. I've used them several times now. I guess I fish between 50 and 70 times a year. I don't worry about wearing them out. I have not ever worn out a pair of pliers, and these are the Donnmar 850 EXs. So I hope this helps anybody that might have had the same problem I had, because believe me, I checked the internet when I first looked at these, and I was really curious what people thought, and I had a hard time finding any reviews on these pliers. So here they are, the Donnmar 850 EXs.